Now, how exciting!
Yeah.
Hello, we are here with our third artist in the In One Ear series, Ashley Grombol.
Hi.
Very excited.
I'll just say I'm Ashley Grombol. I am an actor, but I am also a food stylist slash baking blogger.
I love what you were saying earlier about being inspired by other bakers, other chefs, because I feel that that lends itself so perfectly for this process on
Yes.
ear, although it's a real fun sort of flip instead of being inspired by other chefs to be inspired just by other artists in their
Mm-hmm.
own medium.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's like a real trip. It's very cool to take what I'm given and then seeing how I can express that through food.
Right? I'm fascinated to see what happens.
Me
And
too.
well, so I know. So today you
Yeah,
got the piece. You
I
got
did.
the mostly finished piece, the sort of where it's moving to from
Mm-hmm.
artist number 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I just would love to hear some of your first reactions. Like if you maybe just to kind of kick things off.
Yeah. Can I talk about specific things in the piece? It's not a spoiler, is it? Is that okay to talk?
I don't know, because at this point everyone will have seen it.
They'll have seen it. Okay, so I can talk about things in it.
Yeah, spoil away.
Okay, so I was just like, I can try and be vague, but I mean, I really liked the idea of like the beginning. It starts talking about marriage, and so it kind of makes me think of like the pairings of things and what comes together, and and then also how there's this whole clown aspect, and like there's this whole thing of like things being what they're not, and I really enjoy that aspect of it, and so I've been really trying to think about how like I can I've kind of like started thinking about how I can have things that are just things in the world, but then I it changes into a baked good as I'm creating something, which I
Ooh.
don't know what that is quite yet, but it's just like I'm. It's actually funny because I started having this idea like 2/3 of the way through the piece, and then I know that the artist was mentioning like as they're finishing up, there's going to be like a stop motion type of thing involved, and actually before I even that even came up, I was like, I think there could be some really fun stop motion in my piece about like what happens when it's like you're creating something and then all of a sudden like it's a piece of cotton but then it's like a piece of meringue that I plop it down and it changes into food, and like the whole the whole idea of like a clown putting on a face hiding what it really is, something like that is kind of is like the first jumping off points I've been thinking because of the piece. So yeah,
That's so exciting.
I hope so.
I love that. If you sort of had to distill the piece that you saw down into like 3 words,
Ooh.
either descriptive or emotional or an image word, if you had to pick
Okay.
the 3 words that most kind of
Um,
describe the piece before you as you've seen it.
I would think probably like maybe facade, um, whimsical, and hmm, maybe inquiry.
Yes, facade, whimsical inquiry.
I don't know.
Very, yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right. I was like, I don't know if I want to stick to those, but that's just right off the top of my head, just thinking of the piece, like playing it back in my head. I think that's what I have right now of how I would describe it.
I love that. And then the images that stuck with you of marriage and then things not being what they are.
Yeah, especially like with the balloon moment and how the artist was like dancing, but then it kind of like it's it's like what do they want it to be, and what are you imagining it to be, and then it deflates, so then there's this disappointment about it, and like I'm not sure what kind of like emotional journey mine would be at this point, and whether it would be positive or something a little more melancholy, but I definitely think like the whole idea of like pretending something is one thing and it's not is something that I'm kind of playing with in my head.
I'm so excited.
Me too. I'm
Are there
excited.
any big challenges or worries or anxieties you have about the next coming 2 weeks?
I'm just a little nervous of like whether a food piece will have as much of an arc
Mhm.
as an acting or a dance or even like a written piece, like it starts somewhere and ends. And obviously, like you start with ingredients and you end with a baked good, but like, how do you draw the through line of that, right? Like, how do you draw the emotion that you're telling a story to pass on to someone else, but also to convey something? And I think that's my biggest anxiety about it because I have ideas, but I'm like, I'm not quite sure how to translate it yet.
Totally.
Yeah.
I think the fact that you already have an eye out, looking for that is so
Yeah.
smart.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm also thinking of like, is there hand acting in this that is going to be like very telling of the way that things are put on and taken off or created? I don't know. Like, is that can it be stylized in a way that it like creates a story? I don't know. Thinking about that too.
The sky's the limit.
I know.